The world today is full of moments that make us pause and ask the deepest questions. Just last month, devastating floods in Pakistan displaced thousands, leaving families without homes, food, or clean water. Children wandered through the debris, and parents struggled to comfort them. In Syria, the echoes of conflict still resonate as people flee violence, hoping for safety in neighboring countries. Even in hospitals, overwhelmed by new waves of infectious diseases, doctors and nurses work tirelessly, witnessing both life and loss in the same breath. In these moments, the human heart instinctively asks, where is God? Why does suffering persist? The Quran does not shy away from these questions. In Surah Al-Baqarah 2:155-156, God reminds us, "We will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives. But give glad tidings to those who remain patient." These words do not erase the pain, but they acknowledge the struggle and guide us toward hope, patience, and reflection. They invite us to search for God, not only in miracles, but in resilience, compassion, and the quiet strength found in facing adversity. Have you ever felt lost and wondered, where is God in all of this? Pause and imagine what people in Pakistan or Syria are feeling right now. Let's reflect on this question together, seeking understanding and connection amid the turmoil of our times. Share your thoughts. When have you felt closest to God during difficult times? Before we begin, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Share this video with your loved ones because this knowledge can literally change a life. Real stories today, witnessing faith. Amid struggle across the globe, countless people are grappling with pain, uncertainty, and loss. Moments that challenge our sense of security and faith. In Turkey, recent earthquakes reduced entire neighborhoods to rubble. Families sift through debris, searching for loved ones. Amidst the chaos, volunteers arrive, offering food, blankets, and prayers. One mother, holding her youngest child close, whispered, "I do not understand why this happened, but I trust that God is with us." Her words reflect the tension between despair and hope that so many feel today. Meanwhile, in Sudan, civil unrest has forced tens of thousands to flee their homes. Fathers carry children through dusty roads, mothers shield infants from the harsh sun, and yet, in camps, strangers share what little they have. Acts of kindness, sharing water, offering a comforting word, helping someone up from exhaustion, become signs of divine presence for those who are struggling. Even in quieter suffering, there are stories that speak volumes. Healthcare workers in India continue to face long shifts, witnessing both life saved and life lost. Many turn to prayer, reciting Quranic verses like, "Indeed, Allah is with the patient," Surah Al-Baqarah 2:153, drawing strength to persevere. These modern trials echo stories from the Quran. The patience of Prophet Ayub, Job, in the face of unbearable suffering, or Prophet Yunus, Jonah, calling out in despair from the belly of the whale, only to find guidance and relief through divine mercy. We see that God's presence is not always in the avoidance of hardship, but in the courage, compassion, and resilience. Parket Spiti. Sometimes, His guidance manifests through the helping hands of neighbors, the bravery of rescue teams, or the quiet faith of those enduring pain. Imagine walking in their shoes. What would your prayers sound like? A moment if you've witnessed hope shining through despair in your life or community. Reflect on these stories. Where do you see signs of God in human action today? Tell us about someone who inspired you by finding faith or hope in hard times. How did their example affect your own understanding of God's presence? Lessons from the Quran, finding guidance in divine stories. Throughout history, humanity has faced trials that seem insurmountable, and yet the Quran offers stories that illuminate how God's presence can be found even in the darkest moments. Consider Prophet Ayub, who endured the loss of health, family, and wealth. His suffering was immense, yet he remained steadfast, saying, "Truly adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of all who show mercy." Quran 21:83. Today, in regions like Syria or Yemen, refugees mirror this endurance, losing homes and loved ones, yet finding moments of resilience and faith amid chaos. Prophet Yunus, Jonah, provides another profound lesson. Cast into the depths of the sea in despair, he turned to God, acknowledging his own vulnerability and calling for mercy. "There is no deity except you, exalted are you. Indeed, I have been of the wrongdoers." Quran 21:87.
In modern life, people feel similar moments of being swallowed by circumstances. A mother navigating a flood, a teenager surviving war, or a healthcare worker confronting overwhelming loss. In their vulnerability, the act of turning toward God, even quietly or in whispers, reflects the timeless resonance of Yunus's story. The Quran reminds us that hardship is part of the human journey, but divine presence is not absent. It is often subtle, woven through patience, reflection, and human compassion. Surah Al-Inshirah 94:5-6 states, "For indeed, with hardship will be ease. Indeed, with hardship will be ease." In practice, this might mean that the child rescued from rubble, the neighbor who shares water, or the volunteer comforting a stranger, all become vessels of God's mercy. We can also see parallels in current global events. In Pakistan, volunteers work tirelessly in flood-stricken regions, echoing the Quranic call to support those in need. In refugee camps across Africa and the Middle East, small acts of kindness, sharing food, offering shelter, teaching children embody God's guidance in human action. The stories of the prophets teach us that faith is not only in prayers spoken in solitude, but in the courage to act, to endure, and to hope when everything seems lost. Notice how these Quranic stories mirror struggles happening today. If you've ever felt abandoned, reflect on how Prophet Yunus's story resonates with you. Share a moment when patience or prayer helped you navigate a personal hardship. Which Quranic story gives you strength when life feels overwhelming? How do you relate these stories to what is happening around the world right now? One of the most challenging aspects of faith is understanding why God's presence often feels hidden during suffering. When disasters strike or injustice seems unchecked, humans naturally ask, "Where is God? Why do the innocent suffer?" The Quran addresses these questions, not by providing simple answers, but by guiding us to recognize divine wisdom, even when it is not immediately visible. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216 reminds us, "But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows, while you know not." This verse calls us to trust that the divine guidance exists beyond our understanding. Consider real-world parallels. In Madagascar, cyclones recently displaced thousands, destroying homes and crops. Families walk miles searching for shelter and food, often without hope of immediate relief. Yet, amid the suffering, we witness acts of compassion, neighbors sharing supplies, volunteers rescuing stranded families, local doctors treating the injured with dedication. These moments reflect what the Quran calls Tawakkul, placing trust in God while actively seeking solutions. God's presence
is sometimes realized not in preventing hardship, but in the courage, creativity, and solidarity that arise in response to it. Even in quieter, personal struggles, the divine can be present. A young student battling illness in a hospital may find solace not in a miracle cure but in a kind word from a nurse, a prayer recited quietly by a loved one, or the inner strength to endure. These seemingly small acts can mirror the divine mercy described in Surah Al-Furqan 25:20. And we have not sent before you any messenger except that we reveal to him that there is no deity except me, so worship me. Worship and connection can be expressed in endurance, patience, and ethical action, as much as in traditional rituals. The stories of the prophets reinforce this perspective. Prophet Yusuf, Joseph, faced betrayal, imprisonment, and false accusations, yet divine guidance led him to eventual success and reconciliation. Quran 12:19-21. Similarly, in today's crises, individuals who endure and act with compassion often become instruments of hope, showing that God's presence is manifest through resilience and moral courage. This understanding reframes suffering. It is not a sign of absence, but an invitation to seek God through reflection, action, and patience. Sometimes God's answer isn't obvious. Share a moment when you felt unseen help in your life. Reflect. Can suffering be a pathway to understanding or drawing closer to God? Think of someone today who acts as a vessel of divine mercy, who inspires you. Comment below. When have you felt God's presence in a subtle, unexpected way? How did this change your perspective on hardship or patience? Faith often becomes most visible through action. Across the globe, people are responding to hardship with courage, kindness, and resilience, embodying the divine guidance of the Quran in tangible ways. In Haiti, volunteers continue rebuilding communities after recent earthquakes, often working without pay, guided only by the desire to alleviate suffering. Prophet Ayub's patience, Prophet Yunus's repentance, and Prophet Yusuf's steadfastness all illustrate that enduring trials with faith strengthens the soul and connects us to God in profound ways. Now, the question becomes personal. Where will you see God this week? Perhaps in small acts of kindness, in the courage to face your challenges, or in the gratitude for life's simplest blessings. Recognizing God in everyday moments transforms our perspective, showing that divine presence is never truly absent. It manifests in love, empathy, and hope. Comment one way you will try to see God in your life this week. Share this video to remind someone they are not alone and that God is present even in difficult times. Reflect. Which story or lesson in this video resonated most with your personal journey? Leave a message for someone searching for God right now. How can we help each other recognize divine presence in our lives and communities? What one action or reflection will you take today to strengthen your connection with God?